Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church, Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And here we are out on my front porch. It's a beautiful day. We've had a couple of those in a row. And of course, this is a nice little flashback, a throwback to when we started these morning meditations over 3 years ago, and we had to do everything from our own houses because of the COVID shutdown. So anyway, it's a beautiful day, and I thought today for morning prayer for Saturday, we'd take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 11, beginning at verse number 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it is said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Jacob, when he was a dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians assaying were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down, and they were encompassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. Okay, so we leaves off there, and of course we'll pick up with it on Monday where we left off. But what the author of the letter to Hebrews is doing is he's building up the argument that this is by faith, and that our salvation that's accomplished by faith is actually really foreshadowed in the original covenant as well, and that people get so caught up on all of the doing of the law that they lose sight of the fact that in fact the original covenant was all about faith, that it was Abraham was believed and it was reckoned unto him as righteousness. It was through faith that Abraham believed that God would give him a son, that he would bless his seed, and he would become a great nation. He believed that God would have this covenant and a special relationship. He believed that if he offered his son as God commanded, there must be a greater purpose for what is happening. And then, of course, we worked our way through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and of course we know what happened with Joseph when he was sold into slavery, that God, what his brothers intended for evil, God used for good to save the people of Israel from the famine, that they could be safely brought to Egypt. And then when the time was full come, Moses, by faith, leaves Pharaoh's house and then eventually is the one who leads the people of Israel out of bondage in Egypt. So again, we're building up this idea that it is about faith and not about the works, although the works follow faith and the works show our faith, that this salvation is the work of God, and that our work is only to believe because he's called us to do so. So today is Saturday, and no public worship today at St. John's, but we're getting ready for worship on Sunday, and we've got a really special things happening this Sunday at St. John's. We have 7:30 morning prayer, of course, and at the 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock service, we have a special guest preacher. Garwood Anderson, the Dean of Nashotah House Theological Seminary in Wisconsin, will be our preacher. Dr. Anderson is the dean of the school where I went to study to be a priest, and where St. John's own Cam Walker is right now in finishing up his second of 3 years studying to be a priest. So we'll get a chance to hear a little bit about the mission and ministry. And at the 10 o'clock service, we have our Outreach Sunday. We've invited all of the various ministries that we supported financially in our neighborhood, as well as with our time and talents, to come and be with us, to send a representative to be with us as we distribute some of the funds that we are giving to them to support their physical ministries, and to thank them for being a part of the life of St. John's and allowing us to be a part of their ministries as well. So it's a great day to be at St. John's Church for 7:30, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, that's when we have the special event, and then 5:30 evening prayer. And I do hope that, God willing, we'll see you in church tomorrow.